On like APs. They get it right strapped together.
Oh yeah.
It's just like over the years of plowing.
All right, 6:45. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody? Excited for the day?
A little tired, but
Yeah. We'll power through, right, Ron?
Yeah.
So this week's code of conduct is to speak and act supportively of ECI as a company and our workers. One of the things when I see this, I always think we support. Not one person can do the job to get the job done. So we need to be supportive of each other. We need to try to build each other up, try to work together as a team, as an organization, try to support one another. We can support one another, we can go very, very far, but you can't do it by yourself. You need to get allies, we work together and be supportive of each other so we can be as successful as we can. And we can only do that by coming together. So it's to me, it's again, another one of my favorite code of conducts. So safety news, how we doing? Bang, another 7 days, recordable. We're pretty much almost at that half-year threshold, believe it or not, because we got one more week of quarter one. We pretty much quarter one in 2018 is almost over, so if we can just get through today and really focus on next week, we're going to be able to make that April 1st without a recordable injury, and that's saying something. I'm actually very, very proud of what we have accomplished so far, and we just need to keep it going. So the Friday, the safety focus of the week, again, looking at our hierarchy of controls and how we want to try to isolate and change the way we work. But for this safety meeting, we're going to talk a little bit more about PPE. All right. Our last line of defense is our personal protective equipment. Last couple of weeks, we've been talking a little bit about hard hats, harnesses, hearing protection, things like that. This one right here is personal protective equipment. Safety glasses, right? It's the ANSI Z87.1 eyewear. I know this time of year when you start seeing the sun, some people start wearing some safety or some tinted sunglasses per se. But it's very, very important that the glasses that we're wearing are those Z87 ones. The reason for it is they're not gonna break on you. They can actually stop a nail from protruding and hitting your eye, where a regular glass will actually shatter, and then you're gonna have more of an eye injury if you're not wearing these Z87s. The reason for it is really the flying particulates and getting anything out of your eyes. Our eyes are extremely sensitive, very, very sensitive, and we do a lot of really abrasive. There's a lot of potential there for flying particulates, steel, iron, dust particles, stone, concrete, debris, things like that. So for your safety's sake, eye protection is cheap and your eyes are priceless. So wear the safety glasses in those proper places, especially when you have those exposures, and throw on your eye protection. We're in the process of trying to re-entering our eyewear. We're going to be trying some different things. Alberta's trying to look at different pricings, different things for you guys to wear. But again, we got the dark shaded ones for those sunny mornings, sunny days. We got these ambers that are available that help brighten kind of gloomy, dark days. Your basic clear safety glasses that some of the guys like. And then we also have these. These are actually going to be Larry shot. These are the shade 7s for cutting, torch cutting. All right, it's a lot better. I know we kind of got in some bad habits a little bit by torch cutting with the dark ones, but we really should be using these shade 7s. So anytime we're doing any hot cutting on hot work type of things, really helps save your eyes for that UV protection out there. So see Larry, or if you need, Alberta or myself, or we can get you some so you can have those type shade. It's more for the steel guys, doing a lot of torch cutting on steel, stuff like that. Is there any questions when it comes to safety glasses?
It's also bifocal.
And we do have bifocal
for the older
too.
eyes.
Yes. Different types. The different types of plus minus to help you with your vision too. Reading plans and things like that helps.
Detail work, yeah. Reading plans.
Detail, yep. So again, readily available. Just come see me, and hopefully we can, eliminate any eye potential issues that we might have there out in the field. So I'll pass it over to Ken with the weekly
Thanks, Brad.
email.
Here's another comment about glasses is that the Oakleys, right?
Yeah.
Everyone thinks, oh, they're the best and strongest and they'll outdo any of these.
Yeah.
They're not rated Z87.1. They're not as good. Some of it's probably the side protection in some cases and a lot of other things. But, you know, and those cost, I don't know, $150, sometimes more.
The Oakleys are about 180.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, if I went through a pair of Oakleys, it's, you know, even a couple pair a year, it would kill me to put that kind of money out when these, you know, are provided for free. Take care of them, of course, but these are probably in the order of $3 to $4.
I keep them under 3.
Under 3, yeah. So just imagine, you know, 60 times more dollars to buy Oakley. So I think these look just as cool, right? Okay, eyewear. Oops. Trying to roll it. There we go. Okay. And corporate announcements, nothing to report this week. And next week might be a good time to transition to 6:30 a.m.
Next week?
Next week. Sounds good, right? Yeah, it's very quickly changing to longer days. It has been a slow time coming, but we're basically here. So just give an update for this week's project profile for the Williston Essex STP Signal 46. That's just what it sounds like, a signal project. STP stands for I think, State Transportation Project? Special Transportation Project. Signal and the 46 is designation of the contract. Now, ECI is contracted with VTrans for this improvement at 14 intersections along the Route 2, 2A, and Route 15 corridor through Essex and Williston and Essex. And the work includes 14, not at all at the same sites on the contrary more, but 14 mast arm foundations, and these are nearly complete. And the foundation construction is a design build process that we do. The loads are provided to us by the mast arm supplier, so it's all on the contractor side. And they vary for each foundation, including large moment and torsions in excess of 100,000 foot-pounds. So basically an overturning force from the winds, but also a torsional force from the winds applied to usually to the mast arm and the signals that create the twisting effect from torsion. And those go in excess of 100,000 foot-pounds, and that's equivalent to a 1,000-pound pull on a 100-foot lever. Think of it that way. It's quite a bit of lever. So these foundations are mostly 42-inch diameter, range from 9 to roughly 16 feet deep, and ground conditions varied with some in silts, others clays and sands, and a variety. One foundation was designed as a 54-inch casing in diameter to provide adequate capacity at a depth of 11 feet to avoid the underlying bedrock. Of course, you know what happened? We encountered bedrock about 9 feet. So that included a lot of and a lot of handwork, and the guys got that out efficiently rather than, you know, we had to get the depth in order to make it achievable. We couldn't keep it up higher than that required depth. So we got that done, and then that was only one of them, fortunately. I had that issue. And they consist of a reinforced concrete fill structural material inside of these steel casings, and we built these reusable collars for the top of the steel casing to serve as a form for the above the casing height. So these are stripped off after to reveal concrete above the casing. The casings are left in place in this case. Did these in the shop. This is set up to wrap around and allow for the anchor bolt installation. This looks like it was installed by probably the Volvo 180 with a Tramac hammer to get it down to depth, the casing down, and it's cleaned out afterwards, and then poured with concrete with anchor bolts set in it. And we're at the finished product, just cleaning up and troweling it. And we have 14 mast arms, quite a few mast arms, obviously. We did the design, depth, diameter, rebar spacing, all the requirements, and based that upon the soil conditions provided for each hole. Like I said, they were pretty good, except for that one where we had high rock. And then from the photo archives here, we've got a picture from 2003, November, at Marshall Ave and Harvest Lane. That's actually Harvest Lane comes around and crosses Marshall Ave in two locations. This is the one across from the Garden Way. And I can't remember that guy's name. He was just a contract employee. He was like with the city, I think, or the state. He was with the state, right? I think he came in, on certain jobs for us. And then there's Alan, and that's Neil Boyden. He was Public Works of town of Williston back then until Bruce Hoare took over. So that's what we got. Okay, well, enjoy the nicer, warmer weather coming up here.